Good evening, everyone. I hope we're all staying safe and healthy. Um, the book that we talked about today and what I focused my question 6 on actually really impacted me and made me think about what we had previously been talking about in the class. So something that I hate to admit is that I have been struggling with the term culture conf and what culture conf means. I knew the basic logistics that it was defining of German culture, but I didn't really piece things together with I think it's been like the last two books and then two articles as well where we talk about culture comp, and I've really been struggling with that. I've Googled it, and I know I could have reached out for help from my colleagues and my professor, but I didn't. But Bennett's book really helped me define what culture comp was. And that's kind of what I focused on in my question number 6. And mostly it's because it was a great realization for me. Google does not have good answers for what culture comp is. And I struggled with Smith's books. They were pretty elevated on the topic, which of course is what we expect in grad school. But I felt like I was missing a piece of information there, and Bennett really filled it in with her book. So the first reason why culture comp, kind of all the pieces click together that I think are the first reason from Bennett that made this all come together for me is just the approach that she took. Kind of not just the optimistic tone, but the fact that she looked at things through the Catholic perspective. One of the questions I was having when in the past weeks about culture conf was, okay, how did the Catholics get in this position to be accepting of the culture conf? And Bennett's focus on the center party and explaining and also kind of, she didn't really go into the Austro-Prussian War, but just the way she laid things out from the Catholic side and then taking a tone of optimism. I think that tone of optimism is what really helped me with the culture comp thing, because my biggest question was, okay, what changed in this grand scheme of things to make the Catholics be like, okay, you know what, German national identity is going to be kind of more at the hands of the Protestants. And Bennett's optimistic tone in this book and kind of the questions that she posed really helped me in understanding, like, okay, this makes sense. And again, I think most of that is her explanation of the center party. That really helped looking at things from a political perspective. I also liked the chronological approach that she took. She was explaining how the first couple years of culture comp were rough, and that's because the Catholics were just dealing with the repercussions of the war that had just been lost and what they were dealing with. And then she goes into explain how, okay, now we're trying to reform things. First we kind of had to put them in their place, an awful thing to say, but and then now we have to find a way to integrate. And that approach really also helped me as well, kind of piece together how two religious groups that had always been in contention were helping fight together, or not fight and be together. And this book made me go back to and look at Smith's works and kind of reread them and see how now they do make a little more sense to me. I really liked how Smith, in both of his books, edited them and put them together. It was just my idea of culture comp that was off. So I was able to go back and kind of get the full extent of those books as well. And yeah, that's something that reading Bennett's book really helped me out with.